What's up, guys? Welcome to Market Curry. I'm Rahul,
I'm Shikhar.
and this video is a very special one. This is with our senior Aayush Chitnis. So he graduated in December. So in India, he was working as an operations analyst at JP Morgan and Chase, and then in 2023 or 2022, he came to Northeastern for his MS in Quantitative Finance program.
Yeah, and after that, after his experience at Northeastern, he's now placed as an associate in equity and derivatives trading with a company called WallachBeth Capital, and he has just started this stint in Florida. So we just dive into his experience, what he's learned, and what he's planning to do, and what his advice is for the upcoming graduates and the new students.
And how life is actually in Florida.
Yep, absolutely. So
Let's dive deep into the video.
let's do it. Hi Ayush, welcome to Market Curry. It's a pleasure to have you on board. Since we've already given your introduction, we'll just
Start off.
straight away get into
The questions.
your experiences and your questions. So tell our
Yeah.
audience about yourself and how your life has panned out till now.
I am again very similar to a graduate from Northeastern in Masters in Quantitative Finance, and it's been a good journey. It's been about a year and a half since I've come to the US and completed my Masters, and now I've started working as a trading associate for WallachBeth Capital. So I'm here in Boca Raton, Florida. And yeah,
Fancy.
going pretty good.
So yeah, let's take it back to the time in JP Morgan. How was it, and what motivated you to pursue a master's course?
So JP Morgan was again, since it was my first job, so again it was a good start because great company first of all. So anyone who is looking to apply, the company is great. If you find the role you want, it's absolutely a great company to be in. For me, it wasn't very planned. Obviously, I tried getting into these investment banks, but just after an undergrad, it was very difficult because the roles that these guys usually hire for and are known for, those roles are usually for cream crowd Ivy level students, and they need those kind of credentials, right? So I joined JP Morgan through an institute which was a certification course in investment banking operations.
Nice.
And then that's how I got placed, so first interview, second interview, cracked it, luckily made it to the team. But when I was at JP Morgan, again, before you enter the industry, you don't realize the different components of the industry. And when you actually get into the bank and you realize that, okay, I am working at the fag end of, say, operations. So I might be doing, say, data quality for payments, for markets. I might be doing trade reconciliations, trade operations, middle office, all of that. But I'm still at the fag end of, the industry. I want to get into more of a front end sales trading role. This was kind of what motivated me to get a master's, because I understood that the credentials required usually finance students go through two parts. So one is you start pursuing your CFA. You hope to get it done in, say, 3.5, 4 years. And then slowly and steadily you might find a good role. So if you intend to do that, nothing like it, because it's the highest level of credential you can get in the finance industry. The other path, which I thought was a better one for me, because I hadn't been out of the country, I hadn't been out of the city itself. I was from Mumbai. I've studied in Mumbai, worked in Mumbai. I wanted a little bit of exposure, a little bit of college environment. So we've heard of your MBA experiences and master's experiences, and that's something that I wanted to experience. And I chose US mainly because this is where our industry is mainly focused on. It has a higher range of products. It's got more depth. It's got greater opportunities, definitely. But that obviously comes with more risks.
And why quantitative finance and not financial mathematics or financial engineering, which are deeper into coding part and stochastics?
So to be very honest, coding is not something that I love. It's not something I like at all. If it was up to me, I would never do it in my entire life. But the conditions that we're living in right now, we can't really avoid it and at some point it's going to come back and bite us. So it's better to have it and not need it rather than need it and not have it, right? I felt that quantitative finance was a better balance between the actual finance, sales, trading, investment management roles that I really wanted to get into, and not just the coding part of it. So even when I was looking at trading, I wasn't looking at quant trading. I didn't want to build the code behind it. Rather, I wanted to be the one who's strategizing behind it, because I understood my strengths basically, right? My strengths were markets. My strengths were financial products. Now, I have studied a wide range of products. We've all studied, your equities, your derivatives, your fixed income. We've studied all. So to start with, I didn't have a preference, but I understood that I didn't want to spend my time behind a Jupyter Lab or a Python. Rather, I wanted to spend the time behind a Bloomberg terminal doing stuff that I actually like.
Okay.
Great. That's great to hear. So your undergrad was in what? And you were studying and you worked also in Mumbai, right?
Yeah. So my undergrad was a bachelor's in management studies. Again, a focus towards finance. This was complemented with a few internships. So I did an internship in accounts and accounts. So again, that was something that I really did not like, because I didn't feel very enriching. That I'm looking at financial statements, I'm maybe processing payrolls, but nothing great. I knew I wanted to get into the market side of the business. So then I did an internship with a foreign exchange advisory firm. So again, they're not trading their own book, but they were advising clients about their FX positions. So that was like my first taste towards financial markets, when I was actually in front of a Bloomberg, understanding how markets move, what kind of indicators they're using. That's when and this was, I think, 2018, when I first got the taste of option strategies, and it blew my mind.
I think you planned your career out in a way that prepared you for your role right now, which is exactly what you wanted to do, if I'm not wrong, right?
Exactly.
So how has that been? It's been a month since you joined the firm, and how has that experience been?
Very unconventional, actually. I go to office in shorts, because anything else, and my trader is going to be all over me that, okay, you can't be so overdressed. So loving that environment. Very casual, but otherwise, it's a meritocracy, right? When I was interviewing, this is what my boss told me, that it's all based on merit. You've got to do your best here, and your skill is what defines you. So that was one thing that I really, really, loved about the role. So again, we don't trade our book, but we've got clients and we are basically executioners. So we're broker dealers who are specializing in executioners. So anyone who's, say, a hedge fund manager or a portfolio manager, any retirement fund planner, or anyone who's trading their book, they are trading it through us. So we're the ones who are executing those trades, and it's mainly equities and equity options. So I haven't started executing trades yet, because I'm waiting for my securities licenses to come through. But otherwise, it's been wonderful. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Looking at, equities and derivative markets, understanding on the macro level what's happening. The job may not entail me to actually dig deep into why those clients are trading, what they're trading, but because I like to do that, I still do my homework. And if someone's, bought a straddle on a NVIDIA option, I want to know why. So, yeah.
So I have two questions actually. So could you dive deeper into your role? Like, how do you trade the options? What do you actually do on the portal? Like whenever your client gives you an order to execute, and what do you do, and how does it help you in the long term?
So basically what happens is, here the clients are going to reach out to us by either Bloomberg chat, or we have our own order management system, which, helps route client orders through us. And then we've got your ICE chat, so your intercontinental exchange, that has a different chat altogether. And we're not just trading on one exchange. So we're either NYSE or NASDAQ or 5 other exchanges that we're looking into. And because it's options, huge part of it goes through SIBO. So that part is a lot of it's very client specific, right? So a client would want, and this is okay. This is for the audience to understand better. Derivatives can either be exchange traded or OTC, right? And we do both. So exchange traded you can route orders directly electronically. So it's called electronic trading because an algo catches it, it starts filling those orders as if it's a market order or a limit order. If the clients are trading OTC, so flexes, they're called flexes because they're not traded on the exchange, but they're basically customized option contracts. Those go through us because we are the ones who are finding buyers and sellers and we are crossing it. So if we have a seller of a contract, we are finding a buyer of the contract, we're trying to get the bids, then we're finalizing what trade we want to do, and then we're executing it. So we're filling it, say, on the box, so on the New York Stock Exchange box or the SIBO. So that's how we are usually doing it. So we are either routing it, we're either putting it on Bloomberg chat, or we're doing 10 other things that can get us more clients, basically.
Got it. Like I've talked to a few people who are into commodities, and they usually speak of trade desk or something like that. So he's just the person who's gonna analyze everything that's going on, and in the long term, they will be the trader. In your role, how does it progress in the next 5 years?
So again, it's about building your book. So you're having your clients, and the major part of this job is basically focused on how you're maintaining relations with your clients, right? So if your client calls at 3:54 or 3:55, market closes at 4 o'clock, he needs, say, 50,000 shares of something gets executed at best price. He's going to want me to do it at the best price, at the best way, and needs to be done before the market closes, right? Doesn't matter whether I'm getting 10 orders, 15 orders, 20 orders, I need to get it done. So it all depends on me servicing my client right, maintaining the client relationship, and the client actually, because he's not going to be walking me through what I want to press. He's just going to say, I want to buy this at best price. It's on me how to execute it. So I need to know my markets really well to understand that, okay, this is the kind of volume that I'm playing around with. So to answer your question, long run, again, people can, they can continue being a trader as an executioner or broker dealer who are trading for their clients because they know their business the best, right? They know execution is the best. Or if they're actually interested in, portfolio management and actually making decisions on which trades I want to make, they can probably move to the buy side. So hedge funds and asset management companies. So they're the clients that we're servicing. If you want to move to the other side, I think that's definitely an option to do that.
Makes sense. Got it. Makes sense. I mean, can I ask, what is the maximum amount that you've traded in the past month?
So again, on my desk, I have no clue about the volume because the volumes were high, but I remember trades being north of $20 million in about an hour or so.
Sweet. So you were the one executing that trade.
I was the one I was on the desk, so I wasn't executing. As I said, that I'm waiting for my licenses, so I can't really cross the trades and execute or solicit orders from clients yet. But I'm the one who's usually, giving out clearings. I'm making sure that I'm giving out the clearings to the right person, because at one point we might be speaking to about 10 clients on the Bloomberg chat. I have to do the right thing by actually understanding what's on my order management system, what's the quantity, what strike I'm trading at, and then give out clearing, give out recaps, all of that. And basically understanding whether the client needs anything else. So the way Bloomberg chat usually works is the client's going to give you an order, right? We try to answer it within 15 to 30 seconds. It's not even a minute. So the message comes in, we're on it. So it's that fast.
Yeah. So I have one question. We'll get back to the licenses part later.
Yeah.
How do you feel your degree with Northeastern in Quantitative Finance prepared you for the role that you are doing right now? Did it help in any way, or was it mostly your self-learning?
I think it's self-learning.
A lot of my own self-learning, because I was interested in this for a very long time. So I did my research, I did my homework. But I might say that there were some things that I did not, really work on before getting into this master. Maybe uh, a little bit of Python. So I am trying to automate a few processes over here. So clients having, say, one client having multiple funds, say 5 funds, and they're trading, say, 150 line items in one day. They need to get a segregated report of each. So for us to do that between 4 to 4:30, I need to automate that entire process. So maybe a use of Python or VBA, macros, or all of that. Northeastern was definitely helpful because I was able to learn all of that, and then maybe, so I'm not an expert in coding, but now I can read code, I can understand what's in it, and probably take, say, ChatGPT and build something meaningful. When it comes to client servicing, I think JP Morgan did a good role because I was speaking to internal stakeholders a lot. So 70-80% of my job at JP Morgan was speaking to stakeholders.
Stakeholder management.
Yeah. So that was a good thing because it helped me, develop those qualities that, okay, I need to service clients rightly. I need to look at situations correctly. Otherwise, the rest of it, it's all going to be on the job learning, because this is a job where you can't really prepare beforehand. So the client may be using Black-Scholes, which we've learned, but I am not really doing the Black-Scholes. I'm not valuing an option. I am basically trading an option on real-time market. So that's going to be on the job training.
Got it. And you had to miss the Grand Prix because of your studies.
I had to.
So you were studying for the license exams, right?
Yep.
So what are the license exams and why are they needed?
So what happens is this. So this is a blanket industry. You can say broker dealers, investment advisors. These positions need to have securities licenses in place because we're servicing clients, and the clients could be anyone from institutional investors, which usually for me it's institutional investors. But if you're, say, a financial advisor or an investment advisor, it can be anyone from a general customer, retail customers, right? For them, obviously they're protected under law. So SEC, FINRA, all of these organizations are protecting them, and they want the advisors and reps who are actually servicing these clients to know what the rules and regulations are, to know what the products are. And these licenses are basically a way to certify that, okay, you know what you're doing and you're a certified rep. So you can now solicit orders. You know the rules and regulations of the exchange. You know how it is, say, front running a book is illegal. Many people won't know that. You can't place your own orders before your client orders just because you know your client's making a major booking, right? Those are the things that basically we need to. It's good for us because we have got to tell the clients that, okay, we're FINRA registered, and since I am working at a BD who's FINRA registered, I need to be, because I am going to be trading the markets. I am going to be soliciting orders directly from the stock exchange floor. So I need to be registered in that. So I'm taking the Series 7. So right now I'm preparing for the first preliminary securities industry essential, the SIE. Anyone can take that, I think. So you don't need a organizational affiliation for that. Then I move on to the Series 7, the 63, and the 57.
Got it.
That's. I mean, all the best for that.
All the best.
Wishing you all the
Thank
best.
you.
I mean, coming back to your experiences here at Northeastern, we can talk about your experience experiential learning part of it with the 360 Huntington Fund. So, how do you feel your 3 semesters with that fund helped you in a way, or was it more from a cosmetic perspective for your resume?
Definitely helped me because although cosmetically it does enhance your resume, definitely, because you are managing real money, however small it is. But secondly, I think the one thing that I really liked about the fund is everyone takes it very seriously. So if you're sitting in a class giving out a presentation, no one's really going to listen to you. Very honestly, they've got their own presentations to prepare for. They are more worried about their own presentations and what the professor is going to grade them rather than listening to you. And because almost everyone's going to give the presentation on the same topic.
Right.
How the 360 Huntington Fund's different? People actually, so you guys have given pitches, right? So you know that your pitch might be 15 minutes, but you're grilled for 45 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
That develops you. So again, there's two processes to it. You're one, making your pitch. So again, the valuation models and everything, you guys know, it takes about 4 or 5 days. You're sitting on your Bloomberg, you're sitting on your Excel and trying to model it out. And that too after preparing your investment thesis, your research, your pitches, everything. So again, proficiency in Excel, A1. Your modeling skills, yes, definitely, because you have to show whether it's a good investment or not. And there are people who are actually worth their salt who can validate whether you're right or wrong. So anyone who, if you're not right in your valuation model or your investment thesis, they are going to call you out. And there's no two things about it, right? So you've got to be bang on, you've got to know what you're saying, and you've got to say it with confidence, and you've got to say it correctly. These few things were, I think, that it's one of the preliminary reasons that I chose this university, because there was a fund and you can get involved with it. Plus you get to do a lot of market research. So even though market research is not part of my job description at this point of time, I understood what moves what. So the research obviously helps.
Absolutely. I feel for me as well personally, the internship that I'm doing, it's mostly based on market research, equity research. So the 360 Huntington Fund is the reason why firstly I got the internship, because that helped me leverage my experience with the markets in my interviews. And I feel that it's a great add-on to your resume. I mean, I remember Aayush and we had the same the pitch on the same day last semester in fall. We were timing each other's teams to fit it right in the 10-minute mark and taking in questions. So that was a great experience. I mean, that's all I had wanted to ask Aayush.
But there's a lot of difference. This guy is getting paid to do exactly what he's doing at Huntington. So we paid for it.
Yeah.
And Ayush, did you ever try to decrease the number of shares to increase the EPS in Huntington?
Anyone who's done valuation models knows that they've tried almost everything possible
to increase the alpha,
to make the numbers more. And I remember the last pitch. So the last pitch that we had, this was an upgrade pitch. So it wasn't just one company I was covering. I was covering two companies. So that was, getting one company right is another thing. Getting a buy and a sell right is a completely different ballgame altogether. So I had to plan that pitch in a way that was mad. Wow. But otherwise, great learning experience.
Did Shaurya help?
Let's say he did.
We're not sending him this link now.
Yeah.
Once it's uploaded.
He'll be blocked on YouTube.
Anyway, so I feel that that's all the questions from my end.
I think I have a lot to learn about the job hunt.
Yeah. The job hunt, yes.
Job hunt, because it's very important right now for the people watching this video. It's more than difficult to get a job on an internship. Sure. So Aayush, how did you approach the situation? How much time did you actually dedicate to altering your resume and then applying for all the jobs? And at what point did you get the job?
So, okay.
I have so many
I'll dial back to when we started. So again, when we started, I understood that, okay, we need an internship in summer, otherwise we're screwed. So again, November, December, I started applying for internships. Turns out, major investment banks, they're all done. So they're done a year before. Summers, you're not getting in, right? Then you start digging through LinkedIn and everything. I think I did about 150 odd applications for internships, didn't get any. Maybe it was the resume because I was using a different format. Maybe it was not the right jobs. Maybe it was 100 different things that I changed over the course. I started applying full-time. So again, because I didn't get an internship, I covered my summer with course credits so that I don't have to get a lot of studying in the last semester. So it was just one class and the 360 Huntington. So it was not as bad as it could be, right? So again, I started applying around October. This was around the time I dedicatedly started applying for full time. But the thing about full-time applications is it's not going to be like a sprint. It's not 100-meter. You've got to keep doing it because you're going to learn what you're doing wrong. Again, I remember in October, after so many applications, I got one interview. I had, with that company, good role, more towards a debt-focused role. But I had about 8 to 9 rounds of interview. So I went to their headquarters, interviewed with a panel of interviewers for about 2 to 3 hours, and then got rejected. So again, trauma, you go back to zero, right? That's one thing that I would suggest all the viewers and all of you guys. When you're applying for jobs, try to keep more than one lead, because what happens is one lead busts and you're back to zero. So you've got nothing to begin with, right? So you're again applying. So one thing you should do is keep multiple leads in hand. To get multiple leads, again, people say that you've got to do a lot of applications, and I think that's partially true. Although it shouldn't be true, but given the market condition and the amount of demand that there is, we need to do it. So the number of applications obviously makes a difference. I would suggest the number of applications, but for very, very recent roles. Don't go for roles which are 30 days, 40 days old. Go for roles which are, a week old. LinkedIn luckily has, a filter. You can filter out 24 hours, 7 days, whatever. So the more newer the role is, the more chances of you to get an interview. Believe me, if it's a 2-week-old role, they're probably already interviewing for it. So the faster you get in those applications, the better for you.
Completely agree.
Another thing that I usually tell people is, and again, some people might not agree with me, especially if you're an international student who's come to the US on a student visa. They would say, apply to everything and everything that you see on LinkedIn or Indeed or Glassdoor or whatever. I would say that is not true. Why? Because I tried doing that. Maybe as finance students, we would apply to everything from corporate finance to FP&A analyst to sales trading roles to portfolio manager roles to operations roles, everything, right? Yeah. It probably won't work because your focus is all haywire, right? So you need to have a focus. So what I suggest is think back to what you want to do. If you want to get into investments, go for only those roles and filter out those roles, because then you might spend more time filtering out the right roles for you, right? Tailor your resume accordingly. So answer to your question, I don't know how many hours I spent on tailoring my resume, but I think I did it every time I was striking out. Say if I sent 50 applications and I struck out of all of them, I'm revamping my resume a little bit. So it's not a complete change. Once you have your format, so once you have the format that everyone uses, your, I don't know, you can probably put a template on the screen. But if you're using that format, try changing, roles. So maybe your education is not as important. Maybe your job experience is more important for your resume. Put that up, see what kind of roles you're getting interviews for. Maybe your certifications are not as important, so put them down. Maybe your technical skills are far superior, so you can put them up on your resume. So you can tailor your resume according to your profile and the kind of roles you want. I was very clear that trading operations. So even though I wanted to get into front office, given the market conditions, I was ready to settle in, say, middle office, back office, and then work my way upwards. So what I did was I tailored my resume for 2 or 3 different templates, basically. So if I'm doing investment analyst roles, so that's where I maybe focus more on my 360 Huntington Fund experience. If I'm doing a trading operations roles, that's where my JP Morgan experience pays a little more. Yeah. So overall, tailor your resume according to what you've done, what role you want, and prioritize on which is more important. So that is one thing that I would suggest everyone to do. You put one resume for everything, you won't catch keywords because it's usually through ATS. Very few firms actually go through those resumes that they've received. Secondly, yeah, I think this was pretty much what you can do. Stick to LinkedIn's a good way to do it. Corporate websites usually, I haven't received a lot of traction from corporate websites. LinkedIn was usually my go-to website. Glassdoor, Indeed, they might have good openings, but I've seen for at least finance, I don't know about the other fields, finance, they've got fewer openings than LinkedIn. And I think one last thing that is a good recommendation is start tailoring your LinkedIn, because it starts tailoring your jobs search, right? So if you're searching for a job, you like something you see or you're just browsing through, save that job, right? What happens is LinkedIn will learn that, okay, you like this job, similar jobs will start showing up. So the moment you start training that thing, you get more feedback from LinkedIn and you can see the jobs more relevant to you. So training AI is a good way to go in that way.
Makes sense.
I really enjoyed the entire podcast. It was so informative. I mean, you broke it down like perfectly. I mean, that's what was going in my mind while you were talking.
Yeah, I mean, we could visualize what you were saying, and I think it will be really useful for the incoming graduates, and of course the people from our batch who will be applying for jobs in the next couple of months. So thank you.
Start applying. See, the thing is, I would suggest start testing the waters as soon as possible. Because you know what works. You know whether your resume is actually working. You know whether you're applying to the right jobs. So if you start testing your waters, see, if you're not graduating till December, start testing the waters by October so that you've got some time. If you're getting interviews, great. If you're not getting interviews, then you can probably think about changing things.
Got it.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks a lot, Aayush. I mean,
thanks. Thanks a lot for being on the pod.
No problem.
Thanks a lot for
my pleasure.
And thanks for taking out time for both of us and for the audience.
Thanks a lot.
Definitely. And all the best for your job searches. All the best for your final few semesters. Hopefully you do well. And all the best for your internship.
Thank you, Aayush.
And
and all the best to you too for all the exams.
Thank you so much.
I hope you earn 300K every year.
Base plus bonus.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
All right. Thank you. We'll just shut it off, and we'll drop your LinkedIn bio in the description so everybody can ask you questions.
Sounds good. Yeah, they can hit me. Yeah, absolutely.